Good morning, all of you. And we will start the session in a couple of minutes. I think now only people have started joining. So maybe within 1, 2 minutes, we will start the proceedings. Thank you. Good morning, all, and we welcome all the officials, guests, and speakers, and all the participants, various from various institutions under MIT, and all the officials from MIT and officials from various institutions under the MIT. So for this Cyber Jagrata Divas, as we all know, every month, the first Wednesday, we are MIT is observing this Cyber Jagrata Divas. So as part of the Cyber Jagrata Divas, we were doing so many activities. MIT is doing so many activities, to create cyber awareness among the various users. So let me give a brief introduction, like why are we doing why are we doing this? So Cyber Jagrata Divas for the officials of MIT and its attached organizations to create awareness for prevention of cyber crimes through awareness workshops, seminars wherever it is possible, and interactive sessions, quiz competitions, best practices, case studies, etc. So all these things like we are trying to cover as part of these the best practices and case studies we are planned to cover as part of these online webinars and seminars kind of thing. The aim of this thing is like to increase the cyber hygiene practices for prevention of cyber crimes among all the users, like whoever is using these ICT gadgets, either it could be your mobile phone, laptop, desktop kind of thing. So all these things, like whoever is using, so we have to create, they have to use those things in an efficient manner so that we can safeguard ourselves. At the same time, on top of all those things, our organization also will be in a safe mode. Okay, cyber hygiene becomes more important on account of ever changing scenarios in the cyberspace, clubbed with the technological advancements, as we are evident so the technology is growing up like anything. At the same time, the number of crimes are also increasing, like anything. As we all know, a day before yesterday, one of the report was published by one of the prestigious institution in the world. So as per that report, India was, from bottom three countries, like where we are having this cyber, security kind of thing. So keeping those things in all mind, so the government of India has initiated these kind of awareness programs for all the ministries, departments, and all the citizens, you know, to create this awareness on various cyber crimes which are happening on various users. This was observing on the first Wednesday of every month. So this is, Ministry of Home Affairs requesting to observe the Cyber Jagrata Divas for all the officials of ministry and its attached organizations are under the, which are the organizations are there. So all those organizations has to do this activity. So to perform this activity, so Ministry of our Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, HRD division is organizing these kind of awareness sessions to all the employees of MIT, as well as attached organizations. So this month, the session which the HRD has chosen is preventing the cyber frauds and cyber crimes, awareness through virtual instructor led awareness. Right now, we were organizing these things in a virtual mode, as we all know, because of various issues. And at the same time, bringing number of people into in a single space, it is always difficult. So that is only the reason the ministry has chosen to organize these programs in a virtual mode. Okay, the objective of this initiative is to create awareness, especially on the prevention of cyber crimes through awareness workshops and all those things, as I mentioned to you. So there are no target group of users. All the employees who, whether you are, if you are using a mobile phone also, you are eligible to attend this session. And not only you, like once you listen some of these aspects during the session, once you attend this session, we also you also can create this kind of bit of awareness among your family members, as well as your near and dear, like whoever is there as part of your professional job, your colleagues, and who are not attended, and at least family members also. You can create this kind of awareness so that they can safeguard these things. So to implement this, the ministry has asked information security education awareness to do this activity. So this is again program by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, through HRD division. So like as we all know, most of the people might have aware that the purpose of the objective of implementing this ISEA program is to generate a core research manpower. As we all know, by end of 2025, there is a need of more than 15 lakh cybersecurity professionals. So to address that need, so the ministry has started this program, generate core research manpower to address India needs, as well as other countries needs also, primarily India, right? By offering formal and non-formal courses at BTech level, MTech level, and PhD, and those areas also, information security can be PhDs can be taken. And the faculty training program also we are doing as part of this program. So once we upgrade the skills of the faculties, they will be able to deliver their services effectively, and the learning also happens in a fruitful manner. And we are also organizing the short-term and specialized courses for the professionals, especially training of government officials, the people who are already in service. So if we able to build their capacities, they'll be able to deliver their services in an effective manner. And we are also doing this awareness campaign across the nationwide, by using these 52 institutions. So these are the 52 institutions are involved in implementing this program, like ISRDCs, like information security research and development centers, like including ISA Bangalore, IITs, Mumbai, Madras, Guwahati, Roorkee, Kharagpur, and all, and NITs, and topmost NITs, IITs, COEs, and all our most of our CDAC and IELTS centers are also part of this program in implementing these things. So like we are offering like academic programs, training of government officials, and another aspect is like creating the mass awareness among the various users by using various collaborations kind of thing. So like we are also associated with the school education department to create awareness among the various users, and all these 52 institutions are also organizing the various awareness events in their locations, right? So this is the structure which we are following. So when it comes to awareness, like we are trying to reach in a direct mode and indirect mode. So direct mode, like organizing the various workshops to various stakeholders, and indirect mode, like we're also using the print and electronic media, and we have a wonderful web portal called infosecawareness.in, so which is having a huge amount of information with respect to the information security, like multiple multilingual content, awareness books, posters, stickers. Top of all those things, we have wonderful videos where we can use those videos to create awareness. And we're also organizing these quizzes. We are also publishing the advisories. It says something comes in, immediately we are releasing the advisories so that people can safeguard themselves from these areas. So this is the kind of things which we are doing under the IACA program. So this is a web portal which I'm talking about, infosecawareness.in. So whenever you get time, please visit that infosecawareness.in website and you have huge amount of information with respect to all these categories of users, children, student, women, family. For all these are all the various stakeholders. We have awareness content for all these people. And coming to today's session, so today we are, as we all know, like we are observing this Cyber Jagrata Divas. So the HRD division under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is organizing this preventing, computer frauds and cyber crimes. So, the session title was given as, cyber and safe, using preventing the computer frauds and crimes. So to we have eminent expert from our mighty, like Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So Dr. Gaurav Gupta sir, he is a scientist at cyber laws division at mighty. And let me give a brief introduction about sir. So before sir start the session, right? So Gaurav Gupta sir is the first Indian to earn the doctorate in the field of digital forensics. He has bestowed with the Young Scientist Award of the Indian Science Congress in 2010 by the man of science Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And Gaurav sir is on a mission to create awareness about the technological frauds in the society. And he has been a mentor and a guide to many research students and interns. He has a rich experience, 20 plus years of experience. He has worked in the Big Four and served as a faculty member at the Indraprastha Institute of Information Technology, which is IIT Delhi, and is currently an additional director at the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. He has delivered over 150 talks, including the keynote addresses, and published more than 60 technical research papers. He has been instrumental in hosting the international conference in the area of digital forensics in India. He serves as a vice chair IFIP working group 11.9 on digital forensics of International Federation for Information Processing. As an active researcher in the field, in this field, Gaurav sir has developed many state-of-art and effective digital forensic solutions. So we are very fortunate to have you for this session, sir, on preventing computer frauds and cyber crimes. Sir is going to cover as part of his session, various modus of operandi, modus of operandi, how these kind of frauds are happening, and what are the things, how we can, I'm sorry, how we can prevent how we can safeguard ourselves from various cyber crimes which are happening, which are happening, at various levels. It may we may have seen or we may not be seen, but sir is going to give so that kind of awareness to all of us. Thank you, sir, for joining with us, and the platform is yours. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Good morning, everyone. We'll be sharing my presentation. Can you see my presentation?
No, sir. Yes, yes. Now it is visible, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. It's visible, right?
No, sir. No. Again, it is gone.
Okay.
Still, it is not loaded, sir.
I hope it is visible now, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is visible, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So thanks for the opportunity. And since we have short time, I'll straight away come to the point. I will be discussing about how in this digital world we are unsafe because a lot of things can happen which can make us target of cyber criminals. Cyber criminals are very, very smart, and they understand technology and they do lot of non-technical frauds against us. And that happens because of various reasons, and those reasons we will be discussing going forward. So I'm sure that if you have any question, you can type in the chat, and you can ask in the end also. Before we proceed, I will ask you to think about some of the answers of the question which I'm going to display on screen. There are certain facts or questions which I've displayed on the screen. Just think about what is your answer or what is your response in your mind, so that once we go through the presentation later on, we'll see whether your thoughts, your answers were correct, or you had some misplaced thoughts or not. So the first one is, let's say if I ask you, what will you do if you lose your mobile phone? Right. So you will be having some steps which you want to do. You may want to report to police, you may want to block him, and so on, like some action. Let's say if somebody gets your Gmail account compromised, what will you do? Can you get it back? What all actions you need to do? So do you have some idea about that? And what are the basic digital etiquettes one should have? What are the do's and don'ts in digital world? Do we have some idea about that? Are the things which we get free in digital world are actually free? Who pays for it? Why you are getting it for free, and what can go wrong? If you are getting something for free. So that is also something which we will see.
Sorry to disturb you, sir.
Yeah.
I think the screen is not visible, sir. And at the same time, can you close the window which is appearing on your desktop, sir? That panelist thing.
Okay. 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 Fine. I'll do that. Is that now fine?
That is fine, sir. But the presentation somehow it is not very clear, sir.
Not very clear. Like, let me then reshare once again.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you see presentation now?
Yes, sir. But still it remains same, sir.
You can't read what is there on the screen?
No,
We are not able to read you, sir.
we can't read. It's not displayed properly.
Uh, no idea what to do in this case then. In this small mode also, can't you see?
No, sir. No, sir. Sir, one a pop-up which is coming as part of the WebEx, please close that, sir. And the PPT, you can just share it once again, sir. You just share it once again, sir. Maybe you can
So you
close
have
it.
you have that presentation at your end? Is it possible?
No, sir. No, no.
You have to display from your end.
No, sir. I don't have that. Maybe I'll just stick with, sir.
Give me a second.
Sir, otherwise, please share me. Like I'll just do it from you.
Okay, where should I send it to your email?
WhatsApp can. Wherever it is.
Okay, okay, I'll just do it.
Sorry, like we were planning for all of you, and we will start the session in a couple of minutes. I think.
Meanwhile, if somebody has any question, we can answer that about cybercrime. What can go wrong, and any question you want to ask. This is very strange. I am always able to share my presentation. Why it is at this time is not found?
Sir, ma'am, if you have any questions, kindly keep it in the chat area so that we will try to address during this time. Sir, if you don't mind, like if you can share it in the WhatsApp, I will just display it.
Yeah, that is what I'm doing. I'm opening the web WhatsApp.
Okay, sir.
Now also you can't see my presentation, right?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, I have shared the presentation with you.
Thank you, sir.
So if somebody is asking what is cyber forensics, so basically, whenever something goes wrong, let's say if there is a cyber incident, you have to investigate who is the person who has done that crime, and for investigation of who has done the crime, you find artifacts, you find evidences, and that is what is known as cyber or digital forensics, where you extract data from storage media, you extract data from logs, extract data from digital devices, and then you recreate what might have gone wrong, and you try to find out the modus operandi, you try to build a story of who is the person who has done that crime, and that process is known as cyber forensics, as asked by Arijit Gupta. So this is something which is gaining ground. Cyber forensics and digital forensics is something which is being required by almost all organizations, because we are heavily dependent on technology. We are heavily dependent on usage of mobile phones, internet, and malicious people, they try to take advantage of by doing cyber incidents, by extracting data, and by doing malicious and unlawful activities. So digital forensics is something which is very, very important. I hope now people can see the screen. You can go to the second slide, sir. Yeah, next one. Yeah, so yes, one more enter. So we were discussing, I was asking that, we all have some responses in scenarios. So first scenario is if you lose your phone. Let's say if somebody compromises your Gmail account, let's say if we are getting things for free, are they actually free? Wearable device, we have watches, bands, and IoT devices. Are they really safe? Do they leak data? What is our understanding? What is our views? So you may have your own views and just keep in your mind, and we will discuss all these things. Side channel attacks. People think, what are side channel attacks? Some people may or may not be knowing. Side channel attack is basically when you are leaking information indirectly. For example, let's say if you receive an email from your landlord, if I'm sitting with you, I can tell that, the landlord is asking for rent without even reading the email, right? Let's say if a computer is using a lot of CPU, in that case, it will be generating a lot of heat. So if out of 5 computers, I want to know which one is being used heavily, using side channel attack, I only need to know the temperature around that particular CPU, and I can actually figure out which CPU is being used. So in this case, let's say if somebody is doing Bitcoin mining, let's say if your computer is hacked or your computer is being used for mining the Bitcoins, in that case, what happens is your computer will be generating a lot of heat, it will be consuming a lot of electricity, and it will be requiring a lot of air conditioning, and this can be identified. This could be an indication that your computer is compromised, right? So side channel is both useful for law enforcement agencies as well as for criminals. For example, one very famous side channel attack which comes to my mind is, in olden days we had a keyboard where if you type on the keyboard, it will make a sound. The keypad and the keys of the keyboard were making sound, tap sounds. In modern day, the keyboard does not make a lot of sound. So those sounds were being used to generate what you are typing. So one very famous attack is, a very high quality microphone was placed on the glass of the window of an important person, and whatever that important person is typing using the keyboard, based on the sound of the keystrokes which were being captured by the microphone, people sitting 100 meters away was able to using a program, find out what that person is typing. So there are a lot of side channel attacks which are happening today, and I will discuss some of the side channel going forward. The last point again is important, that human beings are very intelligent. We have brain, we are creative, and at times this creativity, this ability is also being misused by criminals, because they know what we are going to do, and that's why they lay trap, and they misuse what we want to do. Can you move on to next slide, please? Now, the obvious question which comes to our mind is, what makes cybercrime possible for criminals? And the answer is obvious. It is all of us, the cyberspace users, who at times are not aware, who at times are not careful, who allow cyber criminals to do crime. If we are really, really careful, if we are really aware, and if we don't follow digital etiquettes, most of the cyber crimes are actually avoidable. Right? Please move on. Now, one more reason why cyber crimes happen is convergence of technologies to provide convenience. So if you see, the technology is changing rapidly. Once upon a time, we used to change our phone in 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years. Today we change our phone almost every year. Apple comes out with a new model which has substantial changes over the previous model every year. So the oldest phone for those people who are really want to be in thick of the technologies, it can be 1 year. So this convergence to provide you convenience, which is driving the growth of technology, is also making life difficult for law enforcement agencies. So people know, the criminals know that if they use iPhone, it will be very difficult for law enforcement agencies to investigate their phone. So what they do? They buy latest of technology, latest of devices every year, because they understand that even if they are caught, even if their devices are seized, it will be very difficult for law enforcement agencies to basically investigate them. So the speed of change is also driving a lot of crimes. Can you please move on to next? Now on top of it, one very interesting thing which has happened is, if you take any crime, almost any cyber crime is dependent on exploiting emotions. If we all were robots, let's say if you and me and all the human beings who are using technology are robots and they go by rule, most of the crimes will not happen. Most of the crimes happen because we are not robots. We have emotions, and because of our emotions, and I will discuss various emotions, lot of frauds can happen. Can you press button once? So it will show next. Yeah. So we have emotions like trust, we have emotion like greed, panic, fear of missing out, threat, disruption. So all these things are being exploited by criminals. They pose they're calling from bank, they send you link for payments, they do all sort of things to earn your trust by posing as coming from a genuine source. We all have received, that we have won lotteries, we have inherited a lot of wealth, all sort of deals, because they incite our greed. And that's where a lot of people fall for it. Panic. Somebody will call you up saying, and your SIM will be blocked in 5 minutes. Your credit card or debit card will be blocked, in account will be locked in 5 minutes. And we get panicked and we do things which we are not supposed to do. And we get deals like, something is 95% off. So these deals which are there only for 5 minutes, they don't want us to consult anybody. They don't want us to do find reviews on internet whether this particular scheme is right or not right. They will give us very, very less time, and that's where these kind of frauds are also happening. We get threats. If we take example that what will you do in case you lose your phone? Answer could be that somebody will probably file an FIR, somebody will try to locate it for half an hour or 1 hour in his home, in his car, in his office, his friend's place, and so on. But what will criminal do? As a criminal, he will not disable your phone or disable your SIM, and first thing he will do is he will take out the SIM and put it into his phone, and he will call his friend's number so that he knows what is your phone number. And now what he will do, in that phone where he has put your SIM, he will install a WhatsApp. Because your number is active, you are trying to find your phone, or you have gone to police station to report, but your phone is still working, you have not blocked it. He will now actually install WhatsApp in your name onto his phone, because an OTP will come and it will come on the as an SMS to your phone, or it will come as a call, and he has your SIM card. So your WhatsApp can get installed on somebody's phone in case you lose your phone, and that person will then put up a message saying you are ill, you are hospitalized, you have met with an accident. He will post a phone number or an account number or a Paytm number where he will request money. And because a lot of people are there in your phone book or in the SIM, and all those people will get that message, and eventually, because of the emotions, because people like you and love you, they will transfer some money to help you out. And though there are so many scenarios where, from retired judges to businessmen to, people who are working at a higher post also have fallen for these kind of crimes. And what are the solutions? Solutions are very simple. So if you see, there is a setting in your phone using which you can put a pin on your SIM. So in my phone, I have put a SIM pin on my SIM, so that if you take out SIM card from my phone and put into your new phone, it will not work until you give a pin number, and that pin is not known to you. And I find very rarely that anybody puts a pin on their SIM using the setting which is available on your phone, right? So before doing these settings, you read the FAQ on the on through the website, because in case of iPhone and other things, you need to now follow the instruction. Otherwise, some data can go here and there, right? So whatever you want to do, to read about it, but you try to protect your digital assets, right? Disruption. RFID tags became mandatory, demonetization happened, then wallet related fraud started to happen, because people knew, because of disruption, people are not able to switch on from hard code currency to let's say wallets, and they were not having RFID tags. And at the last moment rush, there are spurious website, malicious links, phishing links, which are laid out by criminals because they know how human mind works. So basically, criminals are exploiting our emotions. So whenever somebody is trying to invoke our emotion, that should be a red flag to us. We should think twice before falling for these kind of crimes. Can you go to next? So what happens is criminals keep on changing stories, right? So if you see, take this example, there are 5 websites in front of you on your screen. What do you think is the fine? Which one is the correct website and you would like to go? You can think and write your answer in the chat. Are all 5 fine? Or is there anything which is not fine, malicious? So if you ask me, I think only the first one is fine. First one is ozone.ru is a Russian website, Russian shopping website. Rest 4 are fake. The second one is not yahoo.com, it is yah00.com. Third one is not sbi.com, it is sb1. The fourth one is not ONGC, which most people will read, it is OGNC. The G and N has been interchanged. And that is where criminals send you phishing link, where only one character is not something which it should be, because our eyes cannot differentiate between 0 and O, and 1 and I, and so on. And that is where a lot of crimes happen. Please move on to next. So what happens is, in digital world, cyber criminals, they change stories, but they do not change the emotion. They will keep on exploiting your emotions by some stories or other stories. They will use technology. They use artificial intelligence and machine learning. They generate a lot of fake videos, fake images. So today, anything in using image processing and artificial intelligence can be made counterfeit. I can make a fake video, fake audio, fake image, fake news. Anything and everything can be counterfeited and made synthetically in a very, very realistic manner, right? So please move on to next. So in today's world, aankho dekhi and kano suni may not be true. Once upon a time, we used to believe that whatever we see by our eyes is right. But today, because of synthetic videos, synthetic audios, what we see by our eyes may not be fine. People morph videos and then blackmail people, right? So that's what I'm saying. Using technology, anything can be counterfeited. So we need to take everything with a pinch of salt. So most of the time, we are only treating symptoms. We are not treating the root cause. We are only reactive rather than proactive, right? So when we talk about forensic investigation, when we talk about how these crimes can be handled, we must understand one very basic principle, which is Locard's principle, which says that every contact leaves a trace. If a criminal is doing any fraud, he is leaving some traces. These traces can be identified. Only thing is, we need to know what are these traces. These traces will be because of the process of the crime. Let's say if I'm generating a counterfeit document, in that case, I'm using scanner and printer to make a document. We must know that scanner and printer is leaving their footprints onto the final document. So if we use image processing and investigate the document from image processing point of view, we will get signatures, defects, and noise, which is coming from scanner and printer in this final document. And that is something which Locard's principle tells us, that printer and scanner coming into contact of a page is leaving its own signature and can be investigated. Similarly, for example, let's say, we have biometrics, we have fingerprints. Let's say if you are typing something, let's say if I ask you to send an email, whatever you will write will be unique to you. If you're writing more than 5-10 words, it will have your own style. It will have stylometrics characteristics, like which letter you put first, whether you put comma or not, which letters you combine together, and so on. So we can actually find author of a piece of text, right? Let's say if somebody sends, let's say if I come to you in your office and you go out to attend a call for 2 minutes, and I send an email from your account to your superiors, and I use abusive language and threatening language there. So do you think it can be identified that you have not done it? Because technical analysis is not possible. It is your computer. If you do header footer analysis, it will be your header, your IP. You cannot deny that it has been done, not done by you. But using stylometrics, using authorship analysis kind of techniques, it is very easy to identify who has written this piece of mail. Please move on to next. So criminals are very, very creative. We will see examples of their creativity, but they are very lazy. They use their techniques multiple times, and that is what can be used against them to develop solutions. Please move on to next. So I will discuss creativity examples, and I'm sure many of the examples are known to you already. Some of the examples might be new. So idea is, there is a lot of interesting ways using which criminals do fraud. They do social media related fraud, internet and gaming frauds. They send you things which are free. They use machine learning and AI, and as I discussed, deep fake is something which is very, very, interesting. There's a website known as thispersondoesnotexist.com. If you go to this link, what will happen? This is a website where there is an artificial intelligent engine running in the back end, which will generate fake synthetic faces. It will generate photographs of human beings which are not there on Earth. They are not the actual photographs. They are the photograph which has been imagined by a program. And now using these photos, criminals are generating fake profiles. They are making fake videos. They are sending friend requests. And that is how they are doing a lot of frauds. Right. And I will discuss examples of that. Please move on to next. So we know social media has brought distant people closer. Friends who were there in our 20 years back with us, we can actually find them online. But it is also creating distance between people who are close to each other, because we are not interacting with people in physical world. So idea of this talk today is to change your perspective. So what can you see on the screen? Is it puzzle or some building blocks? What is this? Type in chat. What is your perspective of what data is displayed on the screen? So whatever is there on the screen is contextual. Until I tell you the context, some of the people will not be able to find out what is there. So understanding the context is very, very important. Yeah, so some people can identify that it is written as lift, L-I-F-T, if you see here. So once the lines were not there, you were not able to find out what is there. These lines provide you the context. Similarly, when we talk about computer frauds and cybercrime, if I tell you how a cybercrime has happened, if somebody tries to do that kind of crime to you, it will not be successful. So knowing the modus operandi of the criminal, becoming the aware about the modus operandi of cyber criminals is the easiest way to safeguard against cybercrime. Right. So the idea is that we want to change the perspective. We want to make people aware. It is also that people who want to take up research or who want to do solution development in this area can develop technical solutions by knowing how people are being conned, how cyber criminals are doing crime. Please move on to next. Okay, so if you read this text fast and loud, you will be able to read everything without a problem. Let me read it for you. It says, I could not believe that I could actually understand what I was reading using the incredible power of the human mind. According to the research at Cambridge University, it doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last letter be in the right place. The rest can be a total mess and you can still read it without a problem. This is because the human mind doesn't read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. Amazing. And yeah, I always thought spelling was important. Right. So this text can't be read by a 5-year-old who reads slow, but a human being or adult who is conversant with the language can read it very easily, very fluently, although it is completely messed up. So the idea is, as a human being, because we are intelligent, we are creative, we we assume a lot of information. So if let's say somebody is sending you a mail info@ongc.co.in versus info@ognc.co.in, your mind will read OGNC also as ONGC by doing an autocorrect. It's like an autocorrect feature of Word. So your mind is constantly arranging information, correcting information, and that sometimes helps criminal. We all think social media is fun. I also believe social media is fun, but it actually, the answer is, if I ask you this question whether social media is fun, my answer is it depends. Please move on to next. Why it depends? Because it can actually lead to trouble at times. Whatever photos you post on, let's say Facebook or wherever you post a photograph, you're not only posting a photograph, you're also posting metadata about that photograph. You're also posting GPS location at times, type of camera being used. So let's say if I'm a criminal, I want to select my target for ransom. What I will do is I will select the person or the kid whose parent have posted photograph using iPhone rather than an Android phone, because if somebody is using an iPhone, he has more money to dispose. Right. So basically you are leaking your information when you are posting a photograph. For that matter, any activity you are doing online, you are leaking information. If you go to Facebook, let's say if I have posted a photograph and you want to type a comment and you started to type a comment but you did not post it, this comment will be there available anywhere. Most people will think I have not posted it, it will not be available. But Facebook, to all other social media, whatever you type, even if you do not post, whatever you typed is being stored by these companies at their servers. So anything and everything you are doing on social media, on internet, is being logged, stored, and can be misused. So US embassies and various other embassies, they do mining of information before giving you visa. Let's say you apply for a visa, they will check your social media profile, they will get access from these social media service provider as a part of agreement. And let's say if you have posted photograph or posted comments which they don't like, or which are not in line with their community guidelines, at times you will be denied visa. A lot of companies who are giving jobs today mind this information also. Let's see, if I ask you, what were you doing today exactly at the same time 1 year back? Can you recall? What were you doing exactly 1 year back? Very difficult. Whatever we do, we keep on doing and we keep on forgetting. We cannot record everything. But let's say if I had my phone and I went to a restaurant 1 year back, my GPS location of that restaurant is in my phone. How much time I spent at that location was also recorded. So Google knows a lot about you, because you go with phone most of the places. Let's say, so wherever you're going, Google timeline is recording all the information. It is recording what, let's say if you're going to a restaurant, if you have ordered food, you have paid by Google Pay, it will record how much money you have paid. It will have photographs in Google Photos of the food which you have eaten, because you might have taken the photograph. So Google knows a lot. Let's say, please move on to next. If you go to this website, which is takeout.google.com, after logging into your Gmail account, you will be surprised. It typically contains 5 to 10 GB of data per user. So this data, basically you can request to download your own data from takeout.google.com, the 5 to 10 GB data, and it will contain everything about you, GPS data to timelines to metadata to photos and the emails and the searches which you have done. And all this information is actually very, very important and sensitive. For example, let's say if I compromise your Gmail account, what will happen? I can actually go to takeout.google.com and download this data about you, and I can know what all have you done in last 5 years, what all photos you have clicked, what all you have searched, what all places you have been. Everything will be known. So a piece of advice, what should you do? You should go to takeout.google.com, request your own data, download it offline, and delete it from there. Why you should delete? Reason is, if someone else gets into your account, he cannot misuse this data. Make it a practice that every now and then, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you download this data about you and delete it. Same is available on Facebook, LinkedIn. Almost all social media service provider provide you your own data to be downloaded offline, and then you can delete it from there. At least this can safeguard you in case your account is compromised by a criminal, and he will not be able to misuse this data. This is something which is very important. Also, let's say, for example, if I compromise your Gmail account, can you get it back? You had a question, right? Most people, if let's say if you are driving in the car and you have Google Maps on and you are logged into your Gmail, which is a usual scenario. When you are driving and you have Google Maps on, your phone does not get auto lock. Now, let's say somebody snatches your phone. Let's say your window pane of your car is down and somebody snatches your phone. Now that person, because phone is unlocked, gets your Gmail. He can go to your Gmail, change the password, change the secret question. Even though two-factor authentication is enabled, he has your phone. SMS will come on your phone. He can actually change everything. So let's say the person has compromised your Gmail. He has changed the security question, phone number, secondary email ID, and secret question. All of the things he has changed. For most of the people, there is no way to get into their account now. You cannot go to Google and get your account back. It is very difficult, very time consuming, and almost impossible process. What should you do? There is something known as offline codes. If you go to Google settings, there is an offline codes which you can download. Once you download these codes, you can log in that using these offline codes one at a time. There are 10 or 12 offline codes which you can download, which means one code is usable only once and you can log into that email account. Even though criminal has compromised your account, he cannot disable offline logging, because there is no option provided by Google like you can disable offline logging. Now you can log in using offline codes and you can also change whatever you want to change, which means you can now get back your account if you have offline codes downloaded beforehand. So this is again a good practice that today, post this session, go to Google, download offline codes, keep the printout of the offline codes in your office or at your home or like that, so that your account, even if it is compromised, still you can get it back and you do not get permanently logged out from your digital identity. Right? People think they can be trained for computer fraud investigation and cybercrime investigation. Yes, people can be trained, but you require bootstrapping. You need to have relevant courses. You need to do relevant hands-on. And only if you have done those courses, please move on to next. Once you have done those courses, you have done some specialized courses, and you can read about how forensic investigation or how incident handling happens. You can actually investigate these kind of crimes. Please go to next slide, please. Yeah. So bootstrapping is required, and this is an important area where technology changes fast. You need to constantly update yourself. You need to know what are the commercial as well as academic solutions which are available, and you can also develop your own solutions. That is how this field is growing, and this is something important to note. Please move on to next slide. Skip this one in the interest of time. Next, please. We all think press delete and data is gone, or shift delete and data is gone. Do you think if I format a hard drive and repartition, data is gone? If I do a factory reset of a phone and data is gone? What do you think? Type your answer in chat. Is the digital data gone once I do a reset, factory reset of a phone and shift delete? So most of the people think no, but you know, whatever you do, let's say if you delete data, if you do shift delete or format, it is very, very easy to recover. But even if you format and you do some kind of overwriting, you do some kind of wiping tool, then also data can be recovered. Only thing is it is difficult. It becomes little more difficult to extract. So most of the people, they sell their second phone, right? So when you buy a new phone, you do a factory reset and you give away your phone. This is the dangerous scenario, because whatever phone you are giving as second hand after factory reset, people can run softwares, specialized softwares to recover data, and they can recover all, in most cases, 90%, 95% cases, they can recover data and can misuse this data. And how they can misuse? They can get your photos, they can get your text messages, they can get your credit card numbers, or anything and everything which has been stored on the storage media of the phone or the SD card. And then these photos, videos, text be misused, right? So what should you do? You should not give your second-hand phone. Then what will you do? It is a wastage. Actually, what you can do is, most of the time we change our phone because it is not storing battery properly or it is slow. So after doing a format or erasing everything, you can install a free software to convert your phone to a CCTV camera. There are softwares which are available. So you put your phone in your home at a appropriate location, connecting to the power, connecting to the Wi-Fi router, and your phone will become now a free of cost CCTV camera, a very good quality CCTV camera, because phones cameras are much better cameras than CCTVs, right? Please move on to next. So data once created remains, as we discussed. It can't go from physical media. Only thing is, it is dependent on the capability and the resources availability of the person who wants to get it back. So criminals can go to whatever extent they want. They have tools and technology, and they will get this data back. So we should not create, move on to next. We should not create any piece of data which is dangerous, which can come and haunt us. So that is a piece of advice. Again, never create a piece of electronic data, video, audio, or text, which you do not want to retain forever. So today you may have a photograph, which is not objectionable photograph you want to share with your loved ones or a friend or a family, but somebody can get it back. Somebody can extract it and misuse it, and you will be in trouble. So do not create anything like of that sort. Date and timestamps, which are the basic information about any data, can also be tampered. They are not reliable. This is a myth. There are tools. Go to next, please. There are tools. There are APIs based tools which can be used to actually, change whatever you want to change in terms of digital date and timestamps. Move on to the next, please. Right. So if you hear this says this file has been created in 2003, were modified in 2001. Why? How? Is it possible? You can't modify a file which does not exist in it. It is created in future. So these kind of problems come when these cases go to court. And how until you understand how this is possible, you will be in trouble, right? Go to next. There are API based solutions. There are API based tools which can be used like this. I can change created date here by selecting created date, and whatever I want to change, I can actually select that. And now whatever I want to set as a date and timestamp, I can set. And this will be very misleading. And this is the trick used by criminals. They put these kind of data on their hard drives and storage medias, and they contest in court that somebody is trying to implicate them. Next, please. We think criminals are techo geeks, which is not the case. Most of the time, people who know a lot about computers are not doing crimes. It is the person who does not know much about computer does the crime, right? So there are social engineering examples which was discussed in the session which was discussed last time. I'm not going in that. There are design flaws. There are at times very interesting design flaws. Let me show you a case study which I did long back. Now this flaw does not exist. Move on to the next slide, please. This is the screenshot of Google. If you see on the bottom, it says 2009. This is a screenshot of year 2009. There I went and I wanted to reset the password. I selected the option, I forgot the password. Next, please. Next. If I select, I forgot the password, and if I type any username, let's say Gaurav.Gupta, yeah, Gaurav.Sharma, Gaurav.Varma, all are valid email IDs. Once I submit an email ID, whatever I want to reset my password is in 2009, go to next, please. It used to ask me a secret question. In 2009, Google had a design where it was not asking any other information. Yahoo and Rediff and others were asking PIN code or date of birth, but Google being Google and as part of their design strategy, they were only asking secret question, which also you can try unlimited number of times. Now the problem is most of the users were so honest, they were answering the right answer. For example, favorite color, if I take basic color, red, green, blue, yellow, pink, one of them is right. And if it is right, please move on to next. It takes me to a page where I can reset the password. So I collected 1,000+ email IDs for whom I could actually reset the password. I did not reset the password though, but in 2009, that was the flaw. That was a design flaw. They should have actually asked, other than email ID, something more so that I cannot randomly guess it. Also, a piece of advice to you now, as a user, never answer your questions correctly. So if you're selecting secret question as what is my favorite color, answer should never be a color. You know, my answer to secret question like what is my favorite color is not color. It's like phone. It's like, you know, matchstick. So there is no correlation between question and answer. Let's say there are questions which are there like, you know, what is your first car? So many people know what is your first car. So never answer a correct answer to a secret question. Answer something which you can remember, but which is not correct and related at all. Right? Please move on to next. We think identity thefts are difficult to do, which is not the case. You know, olden days people used to do, next please, you know, crimes using these kind of skimmers. But today, modern day criminals have moved forward. They are using NFC based fraud, you know, near field communication. They are doing frauds where they are doing replay attacks, right? So there are very, very interesting frauds which are happening today, which are happening where your identity is being stolen. Your car key fob, car remote, when you go home, you put it into the key holder, and key holder is near to your door. Now there are walkie-talkie kind of device which can, you know, capture your signal and can transmit. Now what happens is a pair of criminal come to you. They will come. One person will go to your car. One person will come to your door, and they both will have a walkie-talkie kind of sender and receiver. Now what they will do is they will try to receive the signal from your car key holder, car key fob, or the remote which is there at your key holder near to the door. Since they have 1 to 2 meter radius where they transmit signal, if the signal is captured by the transmitter, it will be transmitted and the receiver device will receive the signal near to the car and your car will be unlocked. So high-end cars are being stolen like this. Solution is very simple. You do not put your car key holder near to your main door. Put it into the center of house. That is first. Second is put into a case so that the signal does not come out as long as you don't want that signal to come out. Your documents which you are getting photocopied, they can be misused, right? So any kind of identity of a person, be it in the form of documents, be in the form of cards, credit cards, be in the form of a remote, be in the form of a near field communication or a Wi-Fi credit and debit card, all these things are being counterfeited using various things. Various modus operandis are being used, and that is something which is interesting to know. We must read about all these things. So you know, anti-forensics, I think we should skip. This is not very important in this context. Yeah. We also are seeing that internet and online gaming addiction is becoming real. This is very serious for young ones. You know, young adults and the kids, they are becoming independent. Please move on to next slide. People are playing PUBG kind of game. They are spending time on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagrams. They are taking photographs and videos at a dangerous location because they want more likes. You know, all these things are causing a lot of mental as well as physical well-being problems, right? We are not spending enough time outdoors. We are not spending enough time meeting people. We are spending a lot of screen time, and this is bad for the mental well-being and mental health. So this is also something which is important, and we should take a cognizance. We should ourselves as well as the people around us, we should ensure that they do not spend unnecessary screen time and they do not become addicted to technology. We should use technology as a tool rather than technology becoming our master, because then our mental health will go for a toss. Next, please. So in today's world, survival of the most aware is the mantra. If you don't know many things, if you don't know the modus operandi of cyber criminals, lot of crimes will happen, lot of things will go wrong. So the best thing is that you need to become aware. There are a lot of UPI frauds also happening. So in UPI, when you are selling second-hand stuff, one letter here and there can cause a lot of problems. So we saw that PM Care versus PM Cares, one S was extra, and that's where a lot of frauds happened during pandemic. People are giving, on OLX and quicker kind of places, they're sending you QR code to scan to receive money, which is actually not the case. So again, what people do is try to use your psychology, try to use your dependency on digital technology to trick you, right? So we should be aware that whenever we are receiving money, we don't have to do anything. Person who has to send money has to do everything, and that is the only way you can avoid UPI related frauds, and that is where people try to trick you. We think free is good. According to me, free is not good. If starting from your Gmail to free Wi-Fi to free charging points, which are there on airports and shopping malls, they all are problematic. Move on to next slide, please. So free is being used to lure you into doing something which you don't do. Juice jacking is a term which is being used where your mobile phone, when you are charging in public, that you go to airport, your phone is about to die, you charge your phone. You connect to the wires which are coming out of a charging station. You don't know your phone can be hacked, a ransomware can be transferred, or your data can be stolen. So what are the safeguards? Very easy safeguards. Let's see, if I am going to an airport and my phone is almost dead, I will not charge my phone, I will charge my power bank first. Because power bank is a dumb device, it can't be infected. And once my power bank is charged, I will now charge my phone using power bank. Let's assume I don't have a power bank or you don't have a power bank. Do not charge your phone directly when it is switched on. At least switch off your phone and then charge. Because you switched off phone, chances reduces 99% in terms of infecting your phone, in terms of exploiting data and doing anything wrong, right? So these are very, very basic digital hygiene things which we can do. Lost and found USB. So it is very common that you are given free USBs. You are into a parking lot, and near to your car door there is a pen drive lying, and it is a tendency of people to pick it up and connect with the computer. You might be having good intention that you want to find out whose pen drive is this, but as soon as you connect this pen drive to your computer or enterprise computer, your computing network will get infected, right? It is believed that Strucknet virus was given out to Iranian scientists through free USB, which they threw away near to their, some of the people they targeted, some of the scientists, and they were given free Wi-Fi's, free USBs, which they connected to their computer, and the virus was transferred. So we need to ensure that we are not getting anything free. And if anything is free, which means you are going to pay the price. Your data is going to pay the price. Hardware keyloggers. If I meet you in your office, and let's say you go out for a minute for washroom or a call, I can connect a tiny device at the back of your CPU, which is a hardware keylogger. Now, whatever you will type will come to me through that hardware keylogger using your internet, and no antivirus and no software can actually investigate it. Have you ever wondered and went and checked your backside of your CPU? We don't do it, right? So hardware keyloggers are very, very dangerous. So every now and then in an enterprise, in an organization, we must actually do some kind of bug tracking and find out and check the backside of CPU for any kind of extra attachments, which could be a keylogger. Next, please. So prevention is better than the cure is also applicable in digital world. Like in pandemic, we were taking sanitizers and masks. In same way, in case of digital world, we must be taking precaution. We must be taking prevention. We must be aware. We must know about what all is going wrong. What should we not do? What should we do? All these do's and don'ts must be strictly adhered. We should not open an attachment from unknown. We should not visit porn sites. We should not download anything which is not supposed to be downloaded. We should not download any application other than the Play stores, because all these are basic hygiene things which we need to do and we at times don't do. Next, please. So once upon a time, it used to be the case that if you were wealthy, you were immune to the crime because you can buy people who can secure you. But today, cyber crime has tipped it the other way, because if you are wealthy, you will have more digital footprints, more devices. That means more chances that somebody can hack you, somebody can get into your system, and if he compromises one of your system, he can actually take all your data away. So you are more vulnerable today in digital world. Next, please. There is a book, Cyber Unsafe. You may refer in your libraries. It might be there in your library. This book contains relatable short stories and tips about how to avoid cyber crimes. Many of the things which I have discussed are there in this book. I may not be able to cover all the things given the time constraint. So in case you get to refer this book. You can get more information about how to avoid cyber crimes. Next, please. I'm now open to question in the chat. I will post my LinkedIn profile link, so you can connect with me in LinkedIn and ask things there also, as well as I will post the book link which you can refer. I'm open to questions now.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful and enlightening session within a short time. Of course, like that, we have a time limitation, sir. Everything we have to cover it up within 1 hour kind of thing. So thank you very much, sir, once again for covering, so many aspects which are very, very important. Someone and everyone has to take care in the cyberspace. So officers, sir, ma'am, like if you have any questions, kindly keep it in the chat area so that we will, discuss with sir. So sir can, respond to those queries if you have anything. Sir, can you tell about APT?
Yeah, so what happens is, APT related threats are there, advanced persistent threat remains. So what you should do is, if you are taking precaution, like you are not downloading anything from unauthorized sources, chances are that kind of virus or a threat will not come into your machine. Also, if you regularly sanitize your phone or your computers, like format it, install everything from fresh, and those kind of things you do, some of those attacks can be avoided. Read about what kind of new threats are there. There are cert provides advisories about the latest on APT threats which are there. So you adhere to the guidelines, you go to the right resources where APT related vulnerabilities details are posted, and take actions accordingly.
Yes, sir.
I think somebody is asking about Aadhaar and possible misuse of fingerprints. So I think, in technological world, misuses are always possible. But what we should do is, if we take precaution, as I told you, do not share your Aadhaar card data with anybody and everybody, because at times we are very careless. You only share it with the right agencies, only through the right people who are trustworthy. Let's say if you want to share it with bank, go to the bank and give it to the bank rather than giving it to an agent who can make extra copies, right? So these are some of the precautions you can take. You keep on checking about, all the things which are related to your Aadhaar about for any malicious transaction. If there is any malicious transaction, report it. So these are some of the basic hygiene techniques you can use.
Yes, sir. I think there is one more question from Ankit Piyush. Why cybercrime helpline 155 260 is, sir, which is not working right now. The number is replaced with 1930.
Yes, the number is now, the new number is 1930, where you can report financial crimes, and the money will be stalled where it is if you report it on time, and then on after investigation the money can be returned back to you.
Yes, sir. I think there is one more question. I think most of us will get this kind of issue, sir. Mostly mid of the night getting messages that your bank account has been tried to log in, 2 attempts or failed, such kind of messages.
So these messages are basically trap. What they are trying to do is they are trying to put you into a panic mode. Basically, nothing has gone wrong with your account. These messages are being sent to you so that you become panicky. And now they will give you a message saying, contact at this number. We can block your account. We can do certain things to safeguard your account. They want you to become panicky and act in that panic scenario. And when you are in panicky mode, you will do things which are wrong. We should not panic. We should contact bank. We should not act on anything which is coming on SMS because they are not reliable.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. I think one more, Savita Kashyap is asking, please explain more on hardware keylogger.
So hardware keyloggers are connected at the back of the CPU where your keyboard is attached. What happens is the keyboard wire is connected to the hardware keylogger, and then it is connected to the backside of your USB to the port. Now what happens is whatever you are typing, this all the keystroke will go to your computer via this hardware keylogger, and it will record everything and email to the person who it has to email using your internet, and it will not be detected, right? So the only way you can detect is go back to the CPU, the backside of the CPU, look for anything extra and remove it. That is your hardware keylogger.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And sir, to get a new SIM, the provider, asks for an Aadhaar card. How can we avoid this?
So I think Aadhaar-based enablement of SIM is the faster way. Otherwise, there are other ways which are little slower, right? So if you have patience and if you have time, you can always use alternate methods of getting your SIM activated by doing a physical verification of your address, which takes more than 10, 12 hours or 24 hours. So there are methods available.
Yes, sir. Sir, what to do if your phone number is mapped with else bank account?
So you can go to the bank and report it that this is not your account which is being linked. That's the easiest you can do. You need to go to the bank in which that message is coming, right? Let's say my phone number is wrongly linked with their account in ICICI Bank. I'll go and report it to them.
Okay, sir. I think Anshul Sharma is saying, recently I posted a complaint on the Twitter on Flipkart handle mentioning my mobile number, and the same day fraudsters call started coming with false assurance to resolve this issue, asking me payment more details and remote access to my Flipkart login. But I did not entertain the calls. Okay, thank you for sharing your story, sir. Here.
Yeah, so best way is if you think and find out anything, any new modus operandi, tell it to everyone. You know, according to me, the best defense against these cyber criminals is if we popularize their modus operandi and tell to everyone, these modus operandi will stop working for any one of them, right? So if I know how they are doing fraud, and if I tell 100 people, those 100 people will also be safeguarded. And that is where, I referred you to that book. It contains almost all the modus operandi mentioned. So if in case the book is available in your library, you can probably refer it and give it a read.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. And how to prevent and detect spywares installed on a phone?
So, any spyware or any malware which is there in your phone, it will be doing few things. One is it will slow down your phone. It will have, if your phone has unusual activity in the, let's say, late in the night. So if it wakes up in the night and, there is a data transfer in the night, so you have to look for these kind of signatures. Your battery is drained without much usage. Phone has become slow. So you need to look for these kind of signs which tells that your phone is having some kind of malicious software. You must take action by running an antivirus software or installing everything.
All right, sir. I think the last question we will take it up for this session, sir. Sir, few websites have HTTP rather than the HTTPS. Should we not use them?
So HTTP website you should use, but not do any transaction on, right? If it's an only information purpose, you can. Idea is HTTPS is little more secure because it is having your data in an encrypted manner. Although it does not mean that HTTPS is the only one which is secure. So you can take better precaution by not doing any transaction on HTTP websites.
Okay, sir. I think I don't know whether it is a suggestion or question. Let me read out, sir. Aadhaar card details should not be divulged everywhere. Where can it be avoided as it is asked to every other places?
Yeah, it's a suggestion, right? So avoid sharing your personal information as long as it is not necessary,
Correct.
wherever it is not necessary.
Yes, yes. So thank you very much, sir, for I think more questions are coming. And maybe we'll take it up this last question and we'll conclude this session. Will quantum computing affect current security algorithms?
Sorry, I think I missed your part. What is that?
Sir, will quantum computing
Yes. So what
current
happens is,
security
yeah.
algorithms?
So what happens is, let's see, 10 years back, MD5 was the best hashing algorithm we were using, but then one day it was broken. So when technology advances, when more computing power becomes available, lot of security protocols becomes unusable. So once the quantum computing will become reality, lot of existing protocols and security standards and encryption algorithms will not work. But what will also happen is people are working for development of new quantum safe protocols, quantum safe algorithms. Hence, what will happen is we will move on to those protocols, those encryption methods, and hence we will remain safe. Only thing is we need to make a change. That is something which is going. So people are working on quantum safe technologies also. So if you have more questions, please feel free to connect to me on LinkedIn. You can always send me an email on my email ID. I will be happy to help in terms of sharing more information and the latest in the area of cybercrime investigation. I'm grateful and thankful for the opportunity given to interact today. I hope I am able to provide some value addition in terms of enhancing your knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir, for your notable insights and valuable information on this subject. I'm sure all the officers from various institutions of Mighty and Mighty got benefited from this session, and it was a wonderful and informative session to all of us, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. And officers, like before we conclude, let me share a few things like where we can continue this education. Continue our awareness and various cyber safety and security aspects. So as you all know, like Mighty has awarded this project, like in implementing this project, IACA, Information Security Education Awareness Project. So there, like we have, as I told you, like we have a huge amount of information. At the same time, recently we have launched, cyber hygiene practices through our course. So I request you to, whenever you get a time, or everyone should use this cyber hygiene practices course. So as part of this course, like we were covering like what are the various cyber hygiene practices of personal digital devices. When we are using various digital devices, what are the things one should take care? And at home, like when we are using various IoT gadgets, like sir was mentioning various IoT tools, wearable or other Google Home, whatever it is, those things. And whenever you're working remotely or learning, because like most of our children still attending online classes kind of thing. So like what are the things someone should take care? So those aspects like we were covering as part of this generic on cyber hygiene practices course, where you all can enroll yourself and can learn more such kind of aspects. So if you click on login, it will ask you the username and password. So you can register here by providing some of your basic data, and you can get benefit out of that course. And we also have more number of quizzes like which were hosted on this portal for get benefit out of it. So you can just see those quizzes and participate, and you can check your knowledge. Basically, you can check your knowledge. So how far sir was giving a lot of cybersecurity tips, like when we are doing so many aspects in the cyberspace. So you can go through any of these quizzes, and you can check your knowledge. How far you are there and how far we are understood, like when it comes to the security of social networking and all those aspects. And we you can if at all if you are not following those things, you can start following those things to secure yourself in the cyberspace. So these are various quizzes which are there as part of the portal. And as I told you, like we also have a number of books which we have developed as part of these things. So under the downloads, so you have handbooks are there for various categories of users. We have books for women handbooks, security concepts, ISA handbooks, and cyber awareness. We have modus of operandi, as sir was mentioning rightly. Like what are the various modus of operandi on various aspects like social engineering, social networking, financial frauds, and all. So the digital parenting. So so many books are available. You please go through those books, and if you have any feedback, suggestions, kind of thing, so kindly revert back to us so that we will incorporate those suggestions, and we'll try to release this new versions kind of thing. And we have the cyber awareness books like which we have done in association with the legal enforcement agencies of various states, so which may be useful in other languages also. So these are a few things like where we can access more information related to those aspects and get benefit out of it. So as we told you last time also, like this time also, once again we are repeating before we conclude this session. So every month, first Wednesday, like we are organizing these cyber jagrukta divas. So as part of this cyber jagrukta divas, like we are focusing various cyber awareness topics which will be beneficial to all the technical and non-technical employees. Of course, like for non-technical for technical employees also, many of the things you and me might not be aware of those things. But if you can attend these sessions and you can improve your knowledge in the cybersecurity domain, right? And you can use all these things. And the next month also, like we will be having one more session on 6th of July, like which is falls on the first Wednesday of that month. So like we are going to have one more session on the particular day on other topic. Okay, so till then, take care, and we will conclude here this session. And if you have any queries, you can always write at isc@cdac.in. So we are ready to help you, and we are ready to post any information to any of the speaker. So if you have any questions, you can directly contact with Gaurav Gupta sir, or you can write to us so that we will, once again send back to sir to respond your queries kind of thing, right? So can you please explain about the regarding the Google code? Maybe next time we will see you, ma'am. Now the time is over, so we will explain. We will take care of those things in the next sessions somewhere, right? So once again, thank all the participants from the ministry as well as officers from the various organizations under the MIT for participating and interacting with the speaker, like our speakers are like Gaurav Gupta sir, interacting and clarifying all your doubts. Uh, thank you one and all for your active participation as well as joining the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I posted the LinkedIn detail also in the chat.
Thank you so much, sir.